Hello. Today, I want to talk about something that comes up all the time, and that is I'm too busy for blank. Usually, something having to do with strengthening your relationship. Let's get into today's content. Now, one of the biggest struggles I see that couples are having is just that they're not taking the time to prioritize their relationship. When I ask couples to share with me something they're struggling with in their relationships, 8 times out of 10, people say that they are too busy or that they need help finding the time for their partner. Now, I know in today's busy life, people use the word busy as a badge of honor. Whenever you haven't seen someone in a while and you're like, how are you doing? They're always like, oh, so great. I'm so busy, right? It's a way of saying I'm important. I have things to do. And I am all for being productive with your time. However, when people say that they're too busy to spend time with their partner, that's when my red flags, boom, 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 start flying out because we take time for the things that are important for us. And when push comes to shove, we actually have way more control over how we spend our time and what gets slated into our calendar than we even think we do. So even if we have a high-powered job, we're running a business, we've got a whole bunch of children with lots of activities, and we're serving in our church and in our community, even then, if we want to have a really strong, thriving relationship, we need to make time for it. And when I say make time for it, the important things in your life, they get put in the calendar, right? When you make a dentist appointment or when your child has a game or a practice or you have an important business meeting, those things get marked into your calendar so that you create and protect the time for those activities. Now, when is the last time you put either date night or lunch with your partner or something else like that important in your calendar? When's the last time you just said, time to talk or walk or connect with my partner? You dedicated a space in your calendar just for that. Another thing that we do is we make to-do lists, right? We list out all of the important action items that we want to get done in the day. When is the last time you put your spouse on your to-do list? Something like send my spouse a text or pick up a treat for them or write them a note or call them and ask how the meeting went or do a chore that they would really appreciate, right? When's the last time we actually put something that was really important to our partner or would make them feel really good on our to-do list? Now, here's the thing with I'm too busy. The incredible thing about time is it doesn't matter how much money we make. It doesn't matter how important we are, how many followers we have on Instagram, or where we pop up when we type in our name into Google. It doesn't matter how rich, powerful, attractive, or anything. Every single person on the planet has the same 24 hours in a day. And the way I like to show this is by an object lesson where you have two mason jars. They're glass mason jars that are the exact same size. Those mason jars represent the 24 hours that each and every one of us, again, no matter how rich, famous, attractive, strong we are, we all get the same 24 hours. So you've got these two mason jars. Now, person A is going to make time for all of the things in their life that seem to be important. This includes volunteering at the school, being the soccer mom, coaching the team, watching your favorite sporting event, scrolling on social media, taking all the calls from all the people who want to chat, returning all the messages and emails, all the things that seem super, super important, right? Person A is going to fill their jar with all of these things that are sand, right? They're not the most important thing, but they seem important at the time. And so their jar is starting to get full. And then when they go to put in the really important things like playing catch with their kid or going out to dinner with their spouse, those things are harder to stuff in the jar after it's all of their time has been filled with these other things. Now, person B is going to make a list of their top priorities in life. Hopefully, your marriage is right up there at the top, right? That's represented by these big rocks. Now, person B is going to mark off time for date night on the calendar and special time to spend with their partner every single day. That uninterrupted, undivided attention that you're giving your partner every single day. They're going to put that in the jar first. Then time with their children and other things that are really important to them. And then after that has been set, then they can start filling in all the spaces around the big rocks with the sand. This is one of my very favorite object lessons because most people, if you ask them, will say, my marriage and my family are the most important things to me besides my religion and my faith, right? However, if you choose to put those big rocks representing your biggest priorities in the jar first, you're going to have plenty of time to do all those other things that seem important. Now, you're also going to have to learn how to say no. You might not volunteer at all three of the kids' schools. You might not be the team mom for all of the teams. You may not coach all the things or show up at every single girls or bros night, right? You may have to give up one or two of those things that are sucking all of your energy and attention away from those big rocks. That's how we take control of our time. That's how we master our calendars and our to-do lists, and we feel more congruent with what our true values are. If we value our marriage and our family, then we'll learn how to prioritize them in a way that we give our best to the things that are most important to us. And everything else, we just finish up with B minus work because that's just fine. We don't have to be the absolute best at all the things, only that we give our best to the people and the relationships that mean the most to us. Now, the reason why this is so important is I like to illustrate it with a story of a woman that I met at a recent networking event. Now, when you go to a networking event, you usually meet new people and you tell them your name and you tell them what you do. And I remember I met this woman and I told her what I did. And she was like, oh my gosh, what you do is so important. She said, I used to be married. And she said, when we were young and I was so busy climbing the ranks of my career, and I had these young children, she said, my family was crossing the street one day and this big bus came around the corner and almost hit us. And I remember my husband saying to me, if that bus was going to hit us, you would have moved our children and you would have saved your career and you would have just let me get hit by the bus. She said, I knew right then and there that my values and my priorities were completely out of whack. She said, but I didn't do anything about it at the time. She said, I didn't realize until much later when the children left the house and it was time for me to retire and my parents were sick. My husband asked me for a divorce, and I realized that I hadn't prioritized our relationship enough to be able to weather the storms that would come. She said, so I wish I had met you earlier. And I said, yes. I totally understand what you mean because so many times I will ask people, are they going out on dates? Are they prioritizing their relationship? And they'll say, oh my gosh, and they'll forecast sometime out in the future, when my kids grow up, when I reach this level of success, when we make this much money, right? They'll tell me that that's when they'll start prioritizing and making time for their relationship. The problem with that thinking is that oftentimes that is too late. You've waited too long to give your marriage and your relationship the attention it deserves. And then when challenges start to come, like for many people, when the kids start to grow up and move out and they start to have these identity crises, these health scares, their parents are getting older, and they need the support that comes from investing in that primary, intimate friendship, relationship, marriage, right? You need that camaraderie that you built together as a couple to be able to withstand the storms and challenges that are going to come throughout your life. But if you haven't properly invested your time, your energy, your financial resources, your love into that relationship, when the storms come and you start to face challenges, which will inevitably happen in life, none of us are immune. Your relationship won't be strong enough to withstand that. So, my friends, if you're listening to this and you hear yourself saying, I'm too busy right now, we'll work on our relationship when sometime in the future. I want you to stop right there. And I want you to say, my relationship is so important to me that I will make whatever changes I need to make. I will learn how to say no. I will learn how to protect my time. I will learn how to prioritize my spouse and my marriage relationship so that I'm consistently giving my partner the best, and what's left over to everyone else, not the other way around, so that when we face those challenges, we will be united as a team, we'll have a strong relationship, and we'll be able to get through those things together. Also, my friends, I want you to know that the absolute best thing you could ever do for your kids, and you can challenge me on this all day long, but the absolute best thing you can do for your children is show them the model of a healthy, thriving relationship, one in which you prioritize each other above the children. I promise they'll be better off for that. So when you think, oh, we need to do all of these things for the kids, and I don't have time and energy left over at the end of the day for my marriage, you've got to reprioritize, because your kids are going to grow up healthier, stronger, and more well-adjusted if you choose to give your best to your marriage, if they get to see that modeled, if they know that your spouse comes first and that they come second, they will be so much better off. If you liked this training, if you'll go ahead and subscribe to my channel, hit that little bell so you don't miss any of these trainings. And remember, if it's important to us, we'll find a way. If it's not, we'll find an excuse. Make a commitment right now to prioritize your marriage relationship above all else, and stop saying we're too busy to spend time together or go out on date night or be intimate. I guarantee that's going to do wonders for your relationship. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. And until then, have courage, be kind, and stay on the brighter side. To learn more ways to deepen your intimacy and strengthen your relationship, make sure you watch this video next